Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, and what I'm going to talk about today is not necessarily a very fun subject, and it's one that's applicable to all fighting games. It's not just Dragon Ball FighterZ, although I guess we're doing this in the context of Dragon Ball FighterZ, and that's what happens when you hit the plateau, when you hit the wall, when you just aren't progressing anymore as a player. It's not a fun thing to have happen to you at all. It's happened to me many times over the course of my life, and what can you do to get around it? I'll tell you right now. Just doing what you've always been doing the whole time, it ain't going to work. It's probably part of the reason you're stuck in the rut you are to begin with. And once again, you're just kind of doing the same old, and that's the reason why you're on the plateau to begin with, right? Your innovation is basically gone or lessered. You're just kind of stuck doing the motions, for lack of a better term, right? So what are the things you can do to help you get out of these situations? Well, the first one is just seek inspiration. In the context of this game, Dragon Ball FighterZ, it's a team-based game, so find someone who plays a team somewhat close to you. And don't necessarily just look to the same top players everyone looks to. Find someone who's more around your skill level, just because they might not be doing the same thing everyone copies from the top players anyways, right? One of the big things is there's a lot of copycat syndrome going on, and not that it's a bad thing, don't get me wrong, right? It's just how fighting games work. But sometimes when you're looking for new innovation, you need to look at the people who don't have as many eyeballs on them because they'll be doing stuff you may not have seen before, right? And you can do that either by using in-game replays, using the variety of YouTube channels to cover matches. Just basically look for other people who do kind of what you're doing and see what they do different, if anything, right? Because that could open up your eyes to a whole new variety of stuff, and then, make you realize there's a whole new world of stuff you weren't doing beforehand. Now, let's say you did that, and for whatever reason, you found no new inspiration, you found no nothing. Try out a new character, or even, in the case of Dragon Ball FighterZ, a new team. It perhaps is the lack of variety that's getting you stuck, right? Maybe the team, the way you play it, you kind of reach the limits for yourself currently with what you're able to do, and it's just a lack of inspiration that's keeping you going. So try new characters. Yeah, you'll probably lose a lot early on. That's how fighting games work. You got to learn to get the best way to learn is to lose, and lose you must, right? But I would also say if you're going to try someone new, don't just try someone new who's like already doing something similar to the character or characters that you're kind of plateauing with. Go for something a little bit outside your comfort zone. Learn to play in a way that is not necessarily how you normally play, because one, it'll help expand your knowledge of the game and how a lot of the characters work, sure, but it might expand what you are good at. Like, you might not realize, like, say, hey, I only ever play rushdown, and if I can't get the enemy, after rushing them down viciously and I fall apart, play a character maybe not as rushdown oriented, one that just wants to kind of slow their roll a little bit, and you might find out, hey, now that you're actually playing a character that can do that kind of stuff, it might help your overall game plan with other characters. Now, it's not a given, but once again, big part of the plateau is just complacency, and switching up characters helps you, no longer remain complacent and force you to play the game, whatever game it may be, from a whole new outlook. Another thing that can really help, and don't view this in a bad way, but hey, just take a break sometimes, right? Could be a couple days, it could be a little bit. Like, I'll tell you a real life example for me, right? Around mid Super Street Fighter 4, I was feeling myself hitting the wall, right? And like I felt like I could do no more right anymore. And I took a break for about a good month and a half. And when I came back from that break, I was better than ever. In fact, I kind of did the best I ever did in Street Fighter 4. I won a lot of small local tournaments, and it was kind of, I was feeling really good on myself, right? And just sometimes that break let you just kind of pull back, then realize, some of the things you're doing bad, or just some bad habits you had, and that's you just come at the game from a whole new outlook. So taking a break is not a bad thing. Go do whatever, watch some movies, read a book, play some other games. I'm playing Metro Exodus right now. That's pretty cool. It's definitely different than Dragon Ball, right? But don't feel like you got to force yourself into the grinder when you're not feeling comfortable and not having fun. You absolutely have to do what works for you. So all three of these examples I've given you are stuff I have done in the past to, varying amount of success. Just sometimes, looking at other people doing what they're doing, have other people comment on what you're doing, go ask some friends, right? Ask for their advice. Like, if they find you just doing the same old over and over, that could be a big problem, right? If you're just in the routine, that is going to hurt your gameplay. But yeah, it is a common problem and a lot of people run into it. So hopefully these gave you some insights on what's possible. Anyways, I do got a job for you guys in the comments. If you've hit the wall before, you hit the plateau and you got past it, please let other people know how to do it, right? Let them know what worked for you. Anyways, that's it for this video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video found you well. Go and play some Dragon Ball.